James Gunn and Peter Safran are in charge of DC's film, TV, and animation divisions. The dynamic duo are co-chairs and co-CEOs of DC Studios. This essentially means that we are getting a whole new cinematic universe with all of the DC characters we know and love. Gunn and Safran have inherited a few DC movies already in production, not Joker 2. The universe won't officially start until Superman in 2025, but it will unofficially start with Creature Commandos and Peacemaker Season 2. We also have a whole slate of projects in development, and it looks very promising so far. It isn't just Batman and Superman like in the past. We're getting high-concept characters like the Green Lanterns, Booster Gold, the Authority, and Swamp Thing. This leaves the door open for pretty much anything. DC has some of the most iconic characters in comics, but it seems like the executives of the past only have cared about Batman and Superman, probably because they're the moneymakers. Now, James Gunn has cut his teeth on low-budget trauma movies before getting his real big break at Marvel with Guardians of the Galaxy. Still some of the best Marvel movies, by the way. So if he can use a talking raccoon and sentient tree to make us cry, he can do anything, in my opinion. Today, we're going to pitch 10 characters we hope to see in James Gunn's new DC Cinematic Universe. Number 1, Etrigan. Now, Etrigan is a very silly character that is also a badass. Everything he says rhymes, but he's a powerhouse with super strength and magic abilities. He can breathe out hellfire and generally heal from anything. He also loves pain, so he can tank more damage just because he's getting pleasure out of it. Now, usually Etrigan's backstory is tied to Merlin and the Knights of the Round Table. Merlin bonds the knight Jason Blood to the demon Etrigan, and this premise allows us to have a medieval sword and sorcery movie set way before any superhero shenanigans. Plus, we can also introduce immortal or magic characters in this movie, and I think it should take inspiration from the Demon Knight storyline. I'm thinking they could just use the setting and the characters. My dream director for this project is Guillermo del Toro. I like everything he makes, and I think he could really excel with the horror of Etrigan and the humor. The Hellboy movies are all the proof I need. As far as casting goes, I'm seeing like Jude Law for Jason Blood, and I think Etrigan should be voiced by Andy Serkis because he has a deep, scary voice, but he's also very funny. Like, he could be the guy pulling off rhymes every time he talks. I think that is the best way to do it. Guillermo del Toro, I don't think, as far as I know, he hadn't done anything since Hellboy in the superhero space. I think it's time for a reintroduction. Give us another glimpse at greatness with him. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I agree. I think Guillermo del Toro, like you said, he's really good at doing eldritch horror type things, and I think that's all Etrigan is. Special effects too. We've seen him on FX's The Strain, some otherworldly creatures with the vampires there. He was in the Blade movies, making the vampires for them. Yeah. So I think his personal touch on Etrigan would be really, really fun and a really cool thing. They could even go a little horror with it. I know James Gunn likes horror a little bit. Yeah. So I think that would go right down their alley. Do
you think Etrigan would be... I pitched Andy Serkis, but do you think Etrigan would be a CG character, or do you think he would be a prosthetic?
I like how they're kind of blending the two.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen shots of the Thing for the new Fantastic Four. And some of it's live, practical effects, and then some of it's going to be CG. Yeah. I think a blend of the two is the best route to go. Not pure CG and maybe not pure special or practical effects. A blend of the two, I think, is the best way to do it.
I've always said that's the best way to do it. Like, if you look at Jurassic Park, it's, in the close-ups, it's a prop that they made, so it looks good and you can have detail. But in the wide shots where it needs to be moving and running, it's an effect.
Yeah, and it looks really good that way.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you would just print your own money. You made an Etrigan movie. I really do, because people have already said they love Ghost Rider. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's right up that same alley. Mm-hmm. I think it would go perfectly.
I'm amazed we haven't had just anything besides Batman or Superman. Really, I mean, we got Wonder Woman and like a couple of the DC, like Aquaman, like a couple of those properties. But, like, really weird stuff. Like, where's all the weird, interesting comic stuff? Like, Swamp Thing is maybe the closest we get, and that's not even really part of the mainline stuff.
I think part of it is Warner Brothers, when they failed with Batman and Superman, the main ones, they were like, we need to stick with as much middle ground as we can to try and get these. But then you saw them start branching out. Where, like, the first Shazam did really well. And no one expected it to. Blue Beetle was well received. Just people were tired of bad movies, so they never went and watched it.
I think it was like, there's another DC hero movie coming. It's like not Marvel, but it's a superhero movie, so we're not going to see it.
Yeah, we're not going to see it. But anyone you asked who went and watched it was like, this was awesome. It was a great movie.
I still think people like it.
Yeah,
it was good enough to get like a cartoon show coming.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Etrigan could have worked. I think they were just too scared, and by the time they opened up, Warner Brothers was already trying to transition. Yeah. So I think it's good that we're in this transition, and they didn't try to pick it up before now. Yeah. Because anything they've already done, I doubt James Gunn is going to try and redo. Kind of thing.
I don't think so. That's why there's no like Wonder Woman thing going on. The Batman's going to be very different. Superman, obviously, a very different take. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's your opinion on like a sword and sorcery medieval knights kind of thing?
I'm excited for it. After we saw the success of Dungeons and Dragons, I think this could people want it. I think once the executives kind of get out of their own way and let the directors take over, I think it'll be really good.
I think like James Gunn specifically. I know I mentioned like Guardians of the Galaxy, but even like in the Suicide Squad, like there's I wouldn't have expected like a shark, a killer, King Shark, or even like a
Polka Dot Man,
or the Weasel. Like,
arms fall off guy with Nathan Fillion. You know.
What about the Starro? I thought there's no way in hell we're getting a Starro in the live action movie.
And it worked. It just worked.
It was really good. Yeah.
No, I loved it. I think James Gunn just has this touch about him, and you said it in a previous video that even if the movie's not amazing, it's going to have that James Gunn touch of quality that you know it's going to be pretty decent.
There will be something to think about or talk about at least. And like he's
even
always
if it doesn't fully hit,
yes,
you'll still have something to enjoy from it.
Totally agree. So Etrigan, big thumbs up. I always love the character. I know he's like a big, he like rhymes and stuff, which I did some research. He didn't originally do that. He only rhymed for magic.
Yeah.
And I guess people knew that about his character and liked that about him, so they just like everything he says is a rhyme. But that makes him unique. That's so unique. I've never seen anything else like that where someone just rhymes the whole movie.
I know it's one of our inside jokes too that we both are just so head over heels for Etrigan of all people. Like anytime we're like, what movie should we do? We both like instantly say Etrigan. I'm like, okay, but what about a different one? And we're like, no, we just want Etrigan. So I really hope we get Etrigan. I really do.
He's like a demonic character, but he's like for good. Like I don't know. He's a demon, but normally he's aligned with the good guys. I don't know why or what, but he's just I like that about him.
Yeah.
Jason Blood too. Like that whole dynamic of them being like almost brothers because they've been bonded for like centuries at that point. You know, like that Merlin bonded them, so they're just brothers and they kind of have to go together. A lot of times they don't like each other, but then sometimes in other iterations they're friends and they kind of get along.
Yeah, I agree. I really like. You mentioned Demon Knights, I believe.
Yeah,
that one has like Vandal Savage in it. And
see,
you've got Enchantress in there stuff.
Yeah.
And I like that version of Vandal Savage. He's just this like
portly and
like barbarian man. Yeah, dude, he's so funny.
I like Madame Xanadu's in it. She's another kind of underused character. And, there's lots of. That's kind of what I was thinking. Like we could introduce.
It opens up a whole new. Yeah, it opens a whole new avenue. Yeah, that you can go with it.
And at the end of that movie, or if we do a sequel to it, whatever, Vandal Savage could be like, oh, I'm gonna start.
Yeah.
However, he gets to where he is in the modern day.
I would love to see Vandal Savage on DC as well. Number 2 on who we would like to see would be Static Shock.
I put a shock to your system.
Static Shock is a great teenage superhero dealing with the struggles of being raised in a poor area of Dakota City. He discovers he gets powers in the midst of a fight between rival gangs, codenamed the Big Bang, which resulted in the Big Bang Babies. We already saw Blue Beetle had a good debut origin story on the big screen, and I believe Static could do just as well. Even following some of the plot lines in the TV show would do best for his origin story. I think David Sandberg would be a great director for this film. I love how much comic book campiness he brought to the Shazam movie, and would love to see that replicated in a Static movie. As far as casting goes, I would love to just see a fresh new face bring my favorite superhero to life on the big screen. First of all, the director is key because Shazam felt like such a good kid superhero movie, right? It had the stakes, but at the same time, it was good comic book fun. And I think sometimes we just need to not take these movies too serious.
Yeah.
And Virgil Hawkins being a teenage superhero who gets powers, with a goofy friend and, a stern father kind of thing, just going by the TV show primarily. I think it should just work, I think it'd bring a lightness, you know what I mean? And it seems like James Gunn has already said, like, not every movie is going to have the same feel as the movie before it. So let's say we get like Etrigan first, which is a darker, more medieval, and then we come out the gates 7 months later with a Static Shock movie that's just light and fun.
There's room for everything, really.
Absolutely.
And I think, we've got some teenage superheroes coming in with the Titans. Like, they've already announced that's going to be a thing. And I don't know what Robin is doing. Like, I think they're doing like the it'll probably be the Damian Wayne because they're gonna do like later down.
Yeah, because we want to see Nightwing already. I think at this point.
Yeah, and which sucks that we don't get like live action Dick Grayson Robin. Yeah. We could do even like a prequel to that or whatever. But
I do think if they do the Damian Wayne line, they'll probably just do the Judas Contract storyline. So. Yeah. But so we'll get Deathstroke in there too. So I'm excited for that.
I'm gonna say Static Shock is a big win. I think he is one of those characters everyone likes and knows. But he's not like to the level of success as something like the Titans, where like they've got several different adaptations of stuff, and even like Teen Titans Go and all this different stuff, which they recently made fun of Static Shock. Did you see that?
Static Shock. Oh no, that's rude.
I was not happy. I saw someone retweeted it, and I was like, "Look how they massacred my boy," because they did that animation to him, and I was just like, "No, Virgil Hawkins does not look like Teen Titans Go." But no, I think we have. DC has a good bit of teenage superheroes that all could have contended with the likes of like Spider-Man.
Sure.
But I don't think they were ever as nurtured as much as Marvel nurtured like Spider-Man's coming of age kind of thing. Yeah. And I think that was a big misstep on them, and I think they could rectify this with James Gunn. If not with the Teen Titans, with Static Shock or with Blue Beetle, plenty of them can take on that kind of a role.
I like the idea of teenage superheroes because, like, you're such a young person, you're already figuring out your life, and then you also get superpowers. And in the case of Spider-Man, it's like, I've got these great powers, so if I don't use them to help people, then it'll be my fault, kind of a thing.
Exactly.
So, like, Virgil Hawkins, too, like, and he's such a, like, I don't even bring up, like, the diversity of it, but, like, that was a huge thing for kids in the 90s.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And it'll bring more representation to kids who want to see themselves on the big screen.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, I personally love Static Shock. He's my favorite character, like hero of all time. But some people are going to relate to him better because of how they were raised and their skin color and that kind of thing. You
He's
know
your
what
favorite hero of all time?
Static Shock, absolutely.
That's crazy.
No, dude, he was the first superhero I've ever watched. I used to watch him growing up as a kid, and, you know?
Yeah.
And I just thought he was the sickest guy. You know what I mean?
He's got fun powers.
I was convinced I was going to be Static Shock. Like that's how into it I was.
I like his powers. Like, there's a whole thing about, like, the black hero with electric powers.
Yes, like it's a trope at this point. And I heard someone say it was genuinely because the color schemes just work so well. Like, blue electricity on black skin just goes so well. And then the yellow. Like, it's hilarious, but that it boils down to just it's good color design.
I like that. You remember in Young Justice, I think Black Lightning was in that, but his lightning was actually black.
Yeah,
like, it looked black coming out.
You never had black lightning before.
I like that maybe he was named after his powers and not just because he's a black guy. You know what I mean?
Even though we've already seen the comic line where he literally goes, well, when I was here, I was the first one, so naturally that's why I called myself that.
Definitely room for a Static Shock movie in the DCU.
Absolutely.
I would love to see that. Lobo is number 3.
The main man always delivers.
He is a very interesting character that could just be cringy in the wrong hands, but again, I trust James Gunn's decision making. Lobo is on the same lines to me as Etrigan, where he's very goofy, but in like a badass way. I think he was kind of meant to be a parody of Wolverine, but he's really spiraled into his own thing. He's like an interstellar mercenary and a bounty hunter. He has like a motorcycle, an arsenal of weapons to go along with the super strength, durability, super healing, stuff like that. One of my favorite pieces of Lobo trivia is that he was declared immortal after he died and went to hell, and he proved to be too much for the demons. Then when he got put in heaven, he wreaked so much havoc that he was permanently banished from the afterlife. Sort of like a Deadpool thing going on. And the movie, I think, should take inspiration from the 1990 Lobo run, and I think Tim Miller is the right director for the project. There is really only one person that comes to mind for Lobo casting, and that's Jason Momoa. He even thought he was going to get the role, but he got Aquaman instead.
I got called in the office, and I was just like, well, do you know who you're going to play? And I'm like, yeah, Lobo. I'm like, no, he's not in this universe. I was like, what? What the hell am I supposed to play?
The main man always delivers, and the movie should be fraggin' awesome.
I think Lobo is a cult classic. Everyone brings it up. Everyone says that
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa should play him. I mean, there's really no one else you could think of to play him.
There's probably other choices, but like Jason Momoa is so in on it. Like,
Yes.
he wants to be Lobo,
Yeah.
and I think we all want him to be Lobo
Oh,
too.
absolutely.
He kind of played Aquaman like Lobo a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. And I think at this point, not to get our hopes up, but I think it's more of a win, not if.
I agree.
That James Gunn finally says, okay, enough people did it.
I agree.
Because James Gunn, at the end of the day, he's a man of the people, you know?
Yes.
He likes to give you what you want a little bit when it comes to fan service.
And yes, and I think he does it in a way that works too.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm talking about Tim Miller from the first two Deadpool movies.
Right.
I'd see that totally working. That tone.
Oh, absolutely.
That like atmosphere. I think that direction style, the comedy even.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned his motorcycle. I'm pretty sure it's capable of space flight.
It totally
like
is,
he just
yeah.
rides this motorcycle throughout space.
It's called like the Space Hog or something.
Yeah,
isn't
it makes
Something like that?
no sense because it literally looks like a Harley. Like it's got like flame exhaust and everything.
He's so cool, man.
He's
He's
so
like the
awesome.
coolest character.
Yeah.
He has hooks like with your chains,
Yeah,
and he's
dude.
just like he has his little code words. Like he says frag to get around saying the F word.
Yeah.
And he says bastich instead
Yeah.
of calling people bastards.
Mhm. He's always got babes all over him.
He's
like,
got babes like drowning him. Yeah.
Yes, dude. It's 100% like a perfect movie of James Gunn because you can model a little bit over Guardians of the Galaxy too.
And I don't know how much James Gunn's going to be involved in these movies. Like he's directing the Superman movie.
Yeah.
And I think he's producing. He's definitely producing all of them. But
Yeah, I think he does have a hand in like the scripts when they go through him like
Yeah.
every single one of them. And I think that what you said they did that with
Feige.
Yeah, Feige said that like all the scripts have to go through him, and I
Yeah.
think that's what made the early Marvel movies do so well. Is you
Yeah.
have someone at the very end that says, you know what, this is also the image I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to do, kind of thing.
And I will be honest with you, like a Lobo movie in early days MCU, like when we were around that era, it wouldn't have worked because it probably
No.
would have been too much, or it would have been too dark, or it would have
Yeah.
been whatever. Nowadays, pick your poison for like tone, because it could be scary, it could be funny, it could be awesome action, it could be anything.
Yeah.
Lobo's just that character. He's the
just
main
that guy.
man.
He's
you
the
know what I mean?
main man, dude. Don't you forget it. But yeah, I would love to see a Lobo movie.
And I think that would, yeah. I think audiences would really connect with that character. Like the way Deadpool is now for Marvel, Lobo could be for DC.
Oh, 100%. And better in different ways.
Yeah,
you know
better
what I
in
mean?
different ways, yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. Especially with just bringing back Jason Momoa as him. Like,
Yes.
He's perfect. He's so
It's
funny.
really perfect for
He's
it.
so funny.
And he's like, he's got the build. Like,
Yeah.
you just paint him a little bit blue. That's
Yeah.
all it really needs.
That's all he needs.
Or gray. Is he more gray or blue?
I think he's more cool. Next up on the list, we have Batman Beyond.
I am Batman.
We already know that a Batman Beyond was pitched to Warner Brothers. This is a no-brainer for me. Tell them yes and let them do a Blade Runner type animated film with Batman Beyond as the main guy. I think it'd be so unique and fun to watch by DC fans. Not every movie needs to be live action either. We can even go a step forward and mix things up. Let's make it a duo with Terry McGinnis' Batman Beyond and also Luke Fox as Batwing. They could be mentored by a retired Bruce Wayne to be the new protectors of Gotham. I think this would be a fun movie that could show us more of Batman's side heroes and an older, more futuristic version of Gotham at the same time.
I would 100% agree. I think there was even some test footage leaked out that was like, what if this was a Spider-Verse type
Yeah.
thing?
Now, do you know who Batwing is? Are you aware of who he is?
No.
So originally, he's had two people play him, maybe even a third. But the first one was from Africa, and Batman took him into the Batman Incorporated thing, and
Bat
he became
family.
Batman Incorporated. He wasn't part of the Bat family. He was with Batman Incorporated.
What?
Batman Incorporated was like a bunch of other side heroes that he
okay.
used for things that he
Sure.
didn't use the Bat family. He's got people everywhere. Okay, but people liked better. Lucius Fox, the guy who does all of his tech and stuff,
yeah.
his son ends up picking up the Batwing mantle. And I think the timeline of that would work with like Terry McGinnis.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Maybe even like, Luke Fox, his father gets killed by Joker or something. And so what we get is them two coming together under Bruce's tutelage and maybe having like a yin and yang, like Batwing could take over like a Red Hood type thing where he's out for vengeance, but Terry McGinnis is like the good guy, and they have to work together
That'd be cool.
to fight crime and stuff. I think it would be really neat, and you could explore all of Batman's people because he has so many people. You could have guest stars of, a Batgirl, or guest stars of Dick Grayson, or
Is this like a new show you're pitching, or is this a movie?
No, it'd be the movie kind of thing, but you could introduce them as the side or something. Like you could see them as they're all going out there kind of thing.
What's interesting is we've got this kind of mix of did you see like the Robin announcement? It's called Dynamic Duo.
Yes, and it's going to be using that new technology.
Yeah, so it's like CG mixed with like puppetry mixed with live action. It's like all these different things. And the way that the DCU works is that they're everyone's connected. Like if you're playing the character and Creature Commandos, that character could show up as the live action version in like Peacemaker.
Yeah, and it's the same person who played him.
Yes. So that makes very much sense to me that you would have something like that for an animated show.
Mm-hmm.
Pick someone who could play him in live action. I like that a lot. And I do think the Spider-Verse style works really well for that Batman Beyond
absolutely.
atmosphere.
Absolutely. With Blade Runner aesthetics and
Yes,
stuff, man,
yeah.
it would go so great. Have Ryan Gosling as Batman, as Terry
'cause of the-
McGinnis. And then you can have Bruce Wayne be played by Harrison Ford.
Oh my god, just do Blade
Just-
Runner.
just Blade Runner,
2099 again. Yeah.
Obviously, I'm joking, but no,
I like how you qualified the joke. Like, obviously,
I need to make sure. Some people tear me up in the comments for my statements.
I'm gonna put that picture of Ryan Gosling as Black Panther up just to
Yes.
just to make you.
Oh, I love that picture. Cuss me up every time.
No, yeah, this is great, and I think this honestly is more likely to get made than anything we've talked about so far. 'Cause
Yeah.
Batman makes money.
Oh, absolutely. You put anything with a bat symbol on it, and
Yeah.
you're printing your own money at that point.
They almost called the Flash movie Batman Flashpoint because Batman was in it.
Yeah, I believe it. It probably would have sold a lot better too. But no, and I think Batwing has very similar like suit and whatnot
Yeah.
as Batman Beyond. He can fly with his. His is more metallic and bluish though.
Oh.
Whereas Terry's is more of like a suit kind of thing
Yeah.
with like jetpack boots.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But I think they both could easily pick like the same suit and kind of add their own flair to it. And I think it'd be cool as like a young coming of age of two teenage guys like discovering their place in the world kind of thing. I think it would work really well.
I'll tell you what I don't like about Terry McGinnis, and that's I don't know if it's been retcon since or whatnot, but Amanda Waller took DNA from Bruce Wayne and put it into Terry McGinnis' dad to make.
What?
You don't know what this?
No.
In the show, like he's technically Bruce Wayne's son.
No way.
And
I don't like that.
And it's because like the Terry McGinnis' dad shot Bruce Wayne's sperm out of his willy and did the mom, and so technically he's Bruce Wayne's son, like genetically.
When did they do this? They did this in the TV show?
The show, bro.
At the very beginning or towards the end?
I'm pretty sure it was like at the end of the run. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
wild. Did Bruce know?
I don't think Bruce knew. I think she did it on secret. Just
And you don't like that, right?
No, I don't like that.
No, I
dude.
want to make sure.
Not everything needs to be like genetic. Like
Yeah.
that's sort of the point of Robin is like he can, anybody can.
Well, that was the
you
point
know.
of Terry too. Is
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
Batman without being Batman.
Do we need to tap the Spider-Verse sign? Anyone can wear the mask. type
Yes,
thing,
exactly, dude. I mean, look at next thing you know is Anthony Mackie's actually a long lost descendant of Steve.
I love that actually, bro.
He's gonna discover it in this whole brave new world.
It's
Yeah.
like, why would we go that far? You know?
Yeah, for sure.
That show also made it canon that Bruce and Barbara got together, which I didn't like either.
No, I did not. No.
Yeah.
No, I don't like. See, they did that in that, and they did it also in like a standalone movie where they kind of
The Killing Joke.
Yeah,
That was even worse.
it was worse. Did not like that.
At least in the Batman Beyond, like they were older and stuff,
Yeah.
so a little bit more sense. But like, no, not in the Killing Joke. Not in general.
Not in general.
Don't do that.
Don't take someone under Batman and then have them fall in love. That's weird.
My next pick is Plastic Man.
Hey, look. I found the key.
Now, Plastic Man has been one of my favorite DC characters for a long time because of how unhinged he actually is. I'm starting to see a pattern in my picks, okay? There's been a recent meme to go around declaring Plastic Man is actually the most powerful character in DC, and it's not true, of course, but I do like my boy getting some more attention from the fans. He has classic shape-shifting powers. Patrick Eel O'Brien was a criminal that was abandoned by his gang and left for dead in a vat of chemicals. Love a good vat of chemicals, by the way. He was then rescued by a monk and reformed into a superhero with rubbery powers. I like the idea of a criminal being given powers and a second chance to reform and turn into a superhero. It's like a redemption arc kind of thing, Plus, Plastic Man is one of the funniest characters in DC. I see this as being like an adult animated show on the same level as the Harley Quinn show, but maybe more serious at times. I think the inspiration should be Kyle Baker's Plastic Man because it's basically like the Looney Tunes style and everything. And honestly, let Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg produce it and have Simon R. be the showrunner like Invincible. I think that would be so peak, not gonna lie. Honestly, any comedian can work in this role, but I think Ben Schwartz is my pick because it is a voice role, but he can also play Plastic Man in live action as well. It's also interesting to note James Gunn once pitched a Plastic Man movie with Matthew Lillard off the back of writing Scooby-Doo.
I did not know that about the Matthew Lillard thing, and I love that casting so much.
I know, I typed in Plastic Man something, and it was like Plastic Man, James Gunn, Matthew Lillard, and I was like, interesting. So I clicked on it, and it said the whole thing. Like, they were in a trailer with the president of Warner Brothers, and they're like, we want to do this movie.
Yeah.
I guess it just didn't happen.
Damn, dude.
You
That
know
would
why?
have been awesome.
Because it wasn't Batman or Superman. That's why it didn't
Yeah,
work.
and back then, too, they were like, oh, you're not making a superhero movie if it's not one of those two.
Also, to be fair, at the time, they wouldn't have been able to get away with the special effects, probably.
Yeah, probably.
That's why I'm pitching this as like a Looney Tunes animated thing. Go
Yeah.
crazy. Go off the walls.
I think it would be so fun.
Yes.
Oh, man. There's like a part where he dresses up as Wonder Woman's suit and
Yeah.
she wears him.
She did not like that.
Not-
She
you
got
know?
really upset.
I wonder why she got upset by that.
I wonder, woman, why?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that would be really fun. Doing an Invincible style with it too would be
Yes.
really fun.
I like the idea of just having like this wacky, insane character in like the DCU.
Yeah.
And you can bring him in, for live action stuff because it's Ben Schwartz. He's the guy from Parks. Ben Schwartz?
Yeah.
And Ben Schwartz looks the part. I think he's great. He's got Sonic experience, so he's
Yeah.
got the Sonic voice, so he can just do that. The vision I got. I can give you a perfect example of what I'm thinking. The first episode of The Boys Diabolical, same team that did Invincible. Got Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, Simon, whatever.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce his last name. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
They do that baby's Day Out or whatever.
Yeah,
where
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's Laser Baby Day Out, whatever. That style, but imagine Plastic Man is there
Yes.
doing stuff. I think that's so
100%.
cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I like that there's like an idea for there's a chance to have like a show in a cinematic universe, so we can have more
Yeah.
depth. Like Lanterns is a show.
Yeah, Lantern's going to be like a buddy cop show.
Yeah.
But that one will be live action, I believe. So.
Yeah, it will.
But I think, it's an expanded universe. Let's get TV shows. Let's get movies. Let's do justice to the TV shows.
Exactly. Have like a 22 minute episode show. Have like 20 episodes.
You
It'll
do,
be
like-
a comedy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Take some inspiration from My Adventures with Superman
Yes.
or Batman the Capes Crusader.
For sure.
Like both of those did really well. Like let's see some more stuff like that.
I think having different tones and stuff too, like
Yeah.
having like a off the wall like slapstick comedy with
Yeah,
a superhero. I think that would
absolutely.
do really well right now.
Absolutely, dude.
You know,
100.
Do you like Plastic Man?
I love Plastic Man, dude. I first met him in Batman the Brave and the Bold, which
That's
I'm sure,
what. Yeah, that's what I was gonna mention.
And
Like he's perfect in that.
He's just awesome. He's
and
just
that
a
one,
great guy.
He was like part of the Kite Man gang that
Yeah.
got gets doused in the chemicals.
Yeah,
which
dude.
I love that.
I
too.
love him so much. He's so funny.
He's just like a random like goon of
yeah.
Kite Man
And
of all
his
people.
costume's so funny, too.
It is very funny. It's like a very much like a Silver Age costume, and they haven't
Yeah.
updated it at all, and
No.
it works for the character.
Oh, 100%.
And it kind of is stuck like that because you can't take it off because it's just like part
Yeah,
of
that's
his body
just
at
him.
this point.
Yeah. Next up on the list is gotta be Icon.
We both seem to have found teams that suit us.
So Icon is another hero from the Dakotaverse, like our previously mentioned Static Shock hero. I loved his appearance in Young Justice and even think he could be introduced in the Static film as a mentor to Static. He's also not well known as some other DC superheroes, and I believe that is where James Gunn shines best, is taking obscure heroes and making them shine. Icon is an alien who crash landed in the southern United States during the 1800s. The pod altered him to look like the first person to walk by, who was a black slave woman who would go on to take him as her son. His powers are energy generation, flight, strength, speed, and endurance. He was intended to be a black Superman due to the original comic line not being under DC at the time, so any superpower he's got is basically what Icon has. He's also immortal. I would love to see a time-setting piece for him in the late 1800s, coming into his powers and figuring out his place on this new planet and his role within it. I would love to see Ryan Coogler direct this film. He has done wonders with the Black Panther franchise, and I see him doing the same level of perfection with this one. Icon also would be played by Michael B. Jordan. Marvel, I think, has had him for long enough. Let's DC have him for a little bit.
Is he not like too young? You don't think for like an Icon character?
Not anymore, and I think because let's pretend like James Gunn is actually listening to everything we're doing.
Of course, yeah.
By the time they get to an Icon thing, it's going to be at least 5-6 years down the road,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And with him being, so he's supposed to be like, when the pod scanned that lady, he also gave the DNA of him to be the peak human version of that. So he ages slow, he looks to age slower, he's immortal. So Michael B. Jordan could be as old as he wants,
That's a
know,
good
and
point,
make it
yeah.
look good. But I just think he's so cool. In Young Justice, he was always that tall, stoic character who
Yeah.
just got things done when
Yeah.
you needed him to. He's gone toe-to-toe with Superman fighting-wise. You know, he's great. Just answer to anything you could kind of need. And I think a time-setting piece in the 1800s, not only him learning of a new planet, but also facing discriminations as more of...
It would be very interesting.
Yeah. So I think it would just do great. I think it would be really good. I think Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan are just
Buddies.
and whatever they do, they kind of just make it work.
Yeah.
You know, because he was in Creed with him as well. So they're doing a vampire movie coming up. So if you have one, you got to have the other, in my opinion. So
Sure.
I'm not gonna be the first person to break them up out of a movie.
Yeah.
So might as well put them in together.
I remember when they were at Marvel, like when Coogler did the Black Panther movie, I was like, oh, we're really getting auteurs to do movies, and it's awesome. But like, I don't know what happened since then. It's just become like bland and generic stuff again, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we had this awesome Black Panther movie, and then now we've got, you know, just like Ant-Man 4. Or
Yeah.
Ant-Man 3. Where it's
Yeah.
like, why can't we have any more interesting stories told by
Yes.
good directors anymore? You know what I mean?
Yes, and that's why, like, when you take serious people, like, if they could get off their high horse and have Scorsese or, like, you know, like James Cameron or someone do, like, a superhero movie, I bet you it'd be awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. And James Cameron was actually going to do a Spider-Man movie back in the 90s. You know what that?
No, I didn't.
It was going to be Leo in Spider-Man.
Oh, really?
Like when he was young enough for it. Like, it was
Yeah.
off the back of, like, Titanic or whatever.
Yeah.
I would have liked that.
Like,
you know?
let's, and not to say anything bad about the directors now, but, you know, there's different people that do different types of movies, and
Yeah.
I would love to get their taste on a movie and put it in a comic book series.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean? I just think it would be neat. But I think Ryan Coogler would knock this out of the park. It would be an easy layup for him.
And I like that Icon is sort of like you were talking about, an unknown-ish character. Like, I'm sure people that read comics know him.
Yeah.
And like we found him in Static or Young Justice.
Yeah.
So having him kind of be, you know, part of the DC, I think that kind of amplifies the power sets too. Because if he's supposed to just be a black Superman,
Yeah.
then good, we've got another character as powerful as Superman. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely. And that's not Black Adam. Someone who's going to shake up the hierarchy of power in the DC universe, if you will. You know?
I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah, but no.
How can we just talk? How crazy was it that like Black Adam was supposed to be like the new face of the
Yeah,
DC
Warner
universe?
Brothers had no idea what was going on, and for his part, I respect Dwayne Johnson for trying to do something.
Sure,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Maybe he was a little too full of himself to think
Yeah.
he could single-handedly save
Yeah.
the whole franchise of
Yeah,
DC.
yeah.
But he tried, and you know, I give him props for trying. You know, but
I feel like he learned a lot of humility from that role.
I hope he did. I hope he did. But his heart was in the right place, so
Sure.
I try to give him some credit because
Yeah.
the movie was a little fun to watch. You know, they brought in some.
I
really
didn't hate
cool
it. No, I didn't
characters.
hate it.
Yeah, like Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
peak casting.
Now, but and we can kind of talk a little bit about this. I don't like wasn't it just like a Justice Society movie? Why did it have to be a Black Adam movie that had those
I
characters?
think
at the
they
sides?
pitched the Justice Society, and then Dwayne Johnson said, "But I'm in it." Did you think about that part?
But I'm the main guy, and I'm the center of the DC universe now.
Yeah,
and I gotta,
Do you not see that the Black Adam is played by Dwayne Johnson? You need to, Justice Society is secondary.
How come they didn't just do? I know how come. Like they
Yeah.
should have just done Shazam 2, Black Adam's here.
Oh,
too.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. It would have helped Shazam 2 because that one wasn't as good as the first
Right,
one.
exactly.
It probably would have helped Black Adam.
And you can do the worm guy. He'd be like the
Yeah.
actual villain, but Black Adam's there as like a
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Anyway,
but yeah, I would love to see an icon movie. And
really anything Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan do, I'll be there for it. Yeah.
I'm telling you, they do anything. They're like, yeah, we're doing it. They're like best friends. Are like, okay, I'm gonna. It's like Adam Sandler with his friends. He's like,
Sure,
I'll make the
sure,
movie.
sure.
You guys play in it. It's the same with Ryan Coogler and Michael
and
Jordan.
James Gunn has his favorites too. Like he puts
absolutely.
he puts Michael Rooker in everything. He puts his brother in everything.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion's in everything he does.
Yeah. And Michael B. Jordan is such a solid performer, dude. Everything he's been
is,
in, he puts his all in it, and it's phenomenal.
And he loves comics too. Like, I
Yeah,
feel like
he's
he would
a
really
total
perform.
nerd. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's just a match made in heaven, in my opinion.
If I'm being honest, I feel like he would want something different than Icon. Like he probably has a character picked out for himself.
Probably for sure. But I want him as Icon, and this is my fan casting. So
Sure. There you
he's
go.
Icon.
My next pick is Detective Chimp.
Don't patronize me, old chum.
Now, casual DC fans might not know that Batman isn't the best detective on Earth. Bobo T. Chimpanzee, aka Detective Chimp, actually has that title. He is basically Sherlock Holmes, but as a chimp. He's had a few origin stories, but my favorite is that he drank from the Fountain of Youth, where he gained the ability to speak to all living creatures, even humans, in their own languages, as well as eternal youth. Now, I don't know if Detective Chimp can actually hold his own movie, but I would like to see him in future Batman projects here or there, or kind of just like how Marvel uses Howard the Duck. But use him more, screw that. No, give me a gritty noir-style mystery with a chimp as the main character. Let Ryan Johnson make a Knives Out style movie with Benedict Cumberbatch starring as Bobo. I think he was Sherlock, right? And he's a silly man. He'll do great. It's fun casting. Honestly, just put him in. I don't care how they do it. Put Detective Chimp in.
I don't even want Detective Chimp. Give me a monkey movie, and he's dressed as Batman, and I'll be happy.
No, he's dressed as Sherlock Holmes.
No, you want him as Batman. We all know you, okay? It is funny that this has made it into the top 10 fan castings for James Gunn's universe. I saw you writing it, and I was just like, what's happening here?
Yeah. And my vision is Sherlock, but as a monkey.
Yeah.
And you could do,
You
like
could
I
even
say,
have Robert Downey voice him.
Robert Downey, no. He needs to stay far away from my characters.
But Robert Downey was Sherlock.
Yeah, but so is Benedict Cumberbatch. And I think he's the funnier choice.
No, I kind of like Robert Downey.
I think Benedict Cumberbatch makes a better Detective Chimp. But honestly, it doesn't. I said Andy Serkis earlier
Yeah.
for Etrigan. He could do a monkey. He
The
could do
mental
an ape.
image I'm pulling up is one of the monkeys from Madagascar.
Oh, yeah,
when they're talking to him and he's like doing the sign language and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's who I'm picturing.
Do you know anything about Detective Chimp?
I
Have you ever
know
seen him and
nothing
stuff?
about this man.
He does a
Hey.
lot of stuff. There was a couple comics that I read where he was like with like the super cosmic beings, like Dr. Fate and the Spectre. And all those kind of
Really?
he was figuring out stuff about them because he's such a good detective. He
Yeah.
was just like going on about
That is
I love
so
him so
crazy.
much,
That
dude.
is so crazy.
And I like that, like monkeys are, get the company that does Planet of the Apes, obviously. We do
Yeah.
a mocap monkey.
Yes.
We do, get Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Cumberpatch.
Cumberpatch?
Something like that.
Benedict Cumberbatch. The more you say it, the harder it is to say.
It really is.
But no, I'm just getting that mental image of him as Smaug from
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Have you seen
Hobbits.
the back when he was crawling around
Yes,
as the dragon?
yes. I want him like in a suit. I feel like he would eat that up. You know what I mean?
100%.
And we don't have to look at him doing it. We can just look
Yeah.
at the chimp doing it.
absolutely. Absolutely.
No, I don't think this needs its own movie. Maybe like a couple of shorts or something. You can do
Yeah.
a couple Detective Chimp shorts.
Yeah.
But put him, if you want to do like a Knives Out movie, that would be hilarious and awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
I was a little bit satirical with kind of like how I was going about this one, but I just like that character so much, and I wish he was in more
Yeah.
DC properties.
Yeah.
Like, he's not even in very many cartoons or anything. He's just kind of like a very, very minor side
Maybe
character.
people just don't like him.
No, people like him. People just don't know about him yet.
Oh, okay. They don't know that they like
listen.
him.
If James Gunn puts in Howard the Duck to Guardians of the Galaxy, Detective Chimp's going to probably make an appearance
That's
somewhere.
true. And he put in, the ferret?
The Weasel.
Yeah, the weasel in Suicide Squad.
I think it'll happen eventually. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm with it. I don't know anything about this guy, but
Detective Chimp. Sound off in the comments if you like Detective Chimp.
yeah. Okay. Next up for me is gotta be Deathstroke.
I am the thing that keeps you up at night. The evil that haunts every dark corner of your mind.
Deathstroke has been a phenomenal villain for Batman and the Teen Titans. He has had numerous showings in movies, TV shows, and video games, and I kind of would love to see a Hitman mercenary movie centered around him. I think they should keep Joe Manganiello. Sorry if I butchered your last name. I think he was a perfect pick for when he was first announced, and I don't think that has changed for me. I'd love to see a storyline similar to the My Adventures with Superman anime, where he is working for Amanda Waller as her personal killer, who may end up being corrupted fully by the end of the film and going on his own killing spree and becoming the Deathstroke that we know and love.
I'm never sure about Deathstroke and like how he's supposed to be characterized, because in like Teen Titans he's like this evil, like, you know, mastermind character.
Cold, calculating, just genius.
But in other stuff, like he's kind of like just a goofy side character kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a big deal. I mean, he should be like, you know, he should be, in
Sometimes
my opinion,
he's
like Teen
super
Titans.
jaded, you know, and
Yeah.
super reserved, and then other times, like in My Adventures with Superman, he's this arrogant, more younger guy, you know, with the swords.
Don't love him in that show. I mean, it's
No.
fine that he's in it, but
I'd be okay with him being the older guy.
Yeah.
Because Joe Manganiello is older now, right? He's pushing 50 probably.
maybe. Yeah, he didn't look
Pushing
that, he
40
didn't look
or
that
something.
old, but
yeah,
he's, you know.
and I think he'd do really well. I
Yeah.
think like it could even be a Waller kind of calls him out of retirement type things, like I got one more kill for you kind of thing. And then maybe he turns on her and then he's labeled an enemy of the state kind of thing. I just think it'd be really cool as a super grounded, just pure Hitman movie type
Interesting.
thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like sort of a more,
Yeah.
you like a director in mind, do you think?
I don't have a director, but like the storyline would be something along the lines of it'd be very much like most others, but with a DC spin to it. It's like she gives him a target, he goes to get the target, turns out the target's actually a good guy or something, but it's like cleaning up one of Waller's messes that she left out kind of thing.
Yeah.
So then he ends up having to backstab her and
Sort of a
that whole-
Suicide Squad vibe.
Yeah. But I think it would be really good.
Maybe like a Matthew Vaughn type vibe.
Yeah. Maybe like Jason Bourne or, you know,
Sure, yeah.
even the Taken movies kind of thing, Taken 3.
Just like a dad action movie for
Yeah,
Deathstroke.
I'm telling you, a dad action movie, but DC's Deathstroke. You know what I mean? People would love it. I mean, how many John Wicks have we went and watched? You know,
All of them. They're
All
awesome.
of them.
Oh, dude, Chad Stahelski in that.
Yeah.
Make him get him to a Deathstroke
have
movie.
him do it. Oh, dude, that would be great.
That'd be great, actually.
He's doing one, The Love Hurts or whatever. The
Sure,
same fights
yeah.
choreography guy is doing Love Hurts. Do you know what Love Hurts is?
Yes, I saw the trailer.
Okay,
Yeah,
it looks really fun.
it does look very fun. I think Deathstroke will be in Titans.
Yes,
I think he will be.
Yeah,
They haven't made any announcements. I don't
they've
think.
got to right. It's got to be the Judas contract.
Sure.
If you're gonna make a Titans movie, it's got to be the Judas contract.
Well, I'm thinking like, you know, you've got like you were talking about with Lobo. It's
Yeah.
like, it's not an if, but a when. Like, I
Yes.
think Deathstroke's too important of a character not to have in there, honestly.
Absolutely.
So I think we'll get him eventually. And I do like that casting. Yeah, I would watch a Deathstroke movie.
Who wouldn't? You know.
Would he? Here's the problem. Would he be too compared? Even though he's first, you think he would be too much negatively compared to like Deadpool?
Even if he is, I'll just start yelling at people in the comments.
It'll happen either way, though.
Yeah.
Just a Deadpool ripoff.
Yeah, I hate it when people would say that.
Isn't Deadpool just like he is like a parody of Deathstroke?
Yeah, Deathstroke. Yeah, I believe Deathstroke came first.
So like and it's Slade Wilson is DC.
Yeah.
Wade Wilson is.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
got to be a joke. Like
Yeah.
it's got to be a thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's fine. It works. You know what I mean? But I am tired of people saying, "Oh, this person's a ripoff of this one." Yeah, you know what? There's only so much creativity in the world. You know what I mean? So
We talked about Lobo too. I saw that there was a Lobo parody in Deadpool called like Dirty Wolf or something like
what
that.
the heck? Well, Wolverine is supposed to. We talked about it. Wolverine
know.
was like a parody of Lobo.
They're just eating the parody. They're parodying the parody.
Yeah.
It's all breaking down.
And
yeah.
it's you can see it too because Jack Kirby played both sides of the coin. He
Yeah,
was in
yeah.
DC and then he went to Marvel. You know what I mean? So
He created a lot of the characters we're probably talking about right now.
absolutely. Both for Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
He's just as legendary as Stan Lee, you know?
Honestly, yeah.
So, no, but I think Deathstroke would be fun. Give me a dad action. You said it perfectly. Give me a dad action movie with Deathstroke as the title.
I wouldn't call John Wick a dad action movie. I think that's just an anyone.
Are
action
you
movie.
kidding me, bro?
Dads can like it, but I think everyone. I think
Dads
there's more.
can like
I think there's more mass appeal to
No,
John
this
Wick.
is for dads.
I think
This
Taken
movie's
is
for
more
dads.
like a dad action.
Well, if you say it like that, then I definitely want it to be more John Wick than Taken. So,
Okay, good deal.
yeah.
My next pick, Gorilla Grodd.
Too bad your mind isn't as fast as your little boots.
Now, The Flash has recently had an embarrassing live-action adaptation, and I don't think we'll see the character pop up again for a while. But when the DC DCU is ready for the Scarlet Speedster. I only want one gorilla as the villain. Grodd is a genius gorilla with psionic and telekinetic abilities, and he has a lot of different abilities. To be honest, I don't know. There's a ton of them. Like, he even has super strength comparatively to gorillas. Grodd lives in a society of very smart gorillas called Gorilla City. Go figure. He often wants to take over the world with these sentient gorillas, and the Flash usually stops him. And we don't really need another Flashpoint adaptation. I think James Gunn himself should direct the next Flash movie and cast Ron Perlman as Grodd. I don't care who plays the Flash. We're talking about Grodd right now. This hypothetical Flash movie should take inspiration from those early comics and make it as serious as possible, and it will make $1 more billion. Trust. Also, I know this is my second ape in the video, but I like apes. It doesn't, you know.
You definitely have a
apes.
monkey fetish.
They're both different species of apes.
You're varied monkey.
Also, fetish. What the?
Yeah, that's you, man. You acting shocked. You're the one that's got him.
Do you not love Gorilla Grodd though?
I love the best line you've heard out of any superhero movie or show.
Barack Obama, it will almost be an honor to kill you. Time to make America Grodd again.
And I'm just like, what are we doing here? You know?
That's the best thing that came out of the show.
Oh, 100%. It's from Legends of Tomorrow from CW. Be sure to go check that show out.
You know, props to CW for using all those weird characters too.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But no, Gorilla Grodd's super cool. He was terrible in the Flash show and the Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, they didn't really do
special
Grodd
effects
though,
were
did they?
So bad.
Yeah, they did like its own different. Like he was a monkey at the zoo. They got it. Whatever.
He goes, not God.
Grodd. God.
Yeah. No, not God.
Grodd. Yeah.
But no, I think he's a fun character. And the fact that he's a giant, super smart ape,
Yep.
which DC said, you like that? Let's give you more. They don't just have one. They have like 3 super smart giant apes.
There's a and like I think there's like good gorillas in Gorilla City. So
Yeah.
like there's one gorilla that's friends with the Flash that always tells him like, "Hey, Grodd's on his again. Come get him." Like, but no, the inspiration for that. I don't know if you heard the story, but like at some point, some editorial figured out that if there's a gorilla on the cover, there's like 200% profitability for some reason. People are buying the
Really?
comics if there's a gorilla on the front.
No way.
So you get this gorilla that shoots kryptonite beams and he's fighting Superman. You get Detective Chimp. You get Beepo, the super monkey. You get like, you know, all these different
No
monkeys.
way.
Like Gorilla Grodd and like there's 100 different gorillas throughout DC and Marvel history. Just because like for some reason they were selling better with gorillas on the
what
cover.
the heck, bro? That's wild. People are weird, man.
But Grodd stays as like a mainstay because he is an interesting character on his own. Like
Yes.
he's kind of this cocky leader character, and he sort of fits in with like the villain of the lead villains, like the Legion of Doom, like whoever the Superman, or whoever the Justice League villains are. He's equally on that team.
He's
as much
usually
as,
on the council, and it's so weird seeing all these like intimidating people. Like you literally have like Lex Luthor
Yeah.
and Cheetah
The
and Joker, and then beside them is Gorilla Grodd staring down at you. You know?
because it's scary. A big monkey is
Yeah,
scary.
it is. It's terrifying, but he's so sick. He's so cool.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to have a movie. You want him to be the main character?
No, he's the
Just
villain of the Flash movie.
Oh, got you. But
do you
like
wa-
you said, we're probably not getting a Flash movie anytime soon.
No, but who would you like to play the Flash in this?
I saw
hypothetical movie?
several things. I really like the pick of the guy who played Havoc in X-Men First Class. I think he's got the good temperament. He's got a good build. He looks just like Barry Allen. That'd be a question for you. Do you want Barry Allen or do you want Wally
Yeah.
West?
I think you do Barry Allen first, at least for
Yeah.
a couple movies, and then do Wally West
I'm
after.
super biased. I love Barry Allen so much.
And we're doing Teen Titans. Give us Wally in that, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Keep him there as a kid.
As
He's
a
a little
child.
loser.
I do like Wally
Well,
West.
if we're
as
doing
a-
the Damian Wayne one, we're probably getting Impulse,
Oh, you're right.
Bart
you're
Allen
right.
from the future,
Mhm.
and Wally's probably already grown up to be one of the Flashes.
Which is fine. I like
No, that's
that.
fine.
Okay.
I like both of them, and I know the community's pretty divided on who they like better. It's Wally or Barry.
Yeah.
And then there's just Bart down there, like, hey guys.
No one likes you. Piss off.
Yeah, stay down there in the Teen Titans.
Everyone loves Gorilla Grodd, though.
Everyone loves Grodd. Who doesn't like? You know what? You put the cover as Gorilla Grodd, and the movie does 200% profit.
That's what I'm saying. You'll make a more $1 billion.
yeah, more billionaire.
Gorilla Grodd sweep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the box office.
I think, but like, you know, you could do it. I was thinking Ron Perlman for the monkey.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be sick.
I was thinking Ron Perlman or, I don't know, for some reason, Josh Brolin's voice came into my head. I was thinking
Yes,
that.
I love that. Dude.
Or Peter Dinklage has a good voice for that, too. He could be a good Gorilla Grodd.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. All 3 of those massive good picks.
I just watched that movie where they're brothers, and I had both of them in my brain.
So, last up on the list is going to be Vandal Savage.
I'm afraid no one lives forever.
He is the man behind the curtain, the true Machiavellian guy. Vandal Savage got his powers as a caveman by touching a weird meteorite that gave him super intelligence and super longevity. He's essentially immortal as far as we're concerned. And his main goal is that he wants humanity to evolve into the best species in the universe. So what he does is he throws everything he can think of at the humans, at the heroes of the world, not to kill them, but to make them strong enough that they will become on top with him leading the charge.
I like an Alan Richardson for this role. What do you think?
Oh, Alan Richardson would go so
Like
well.
a big caveman,
Yeah.
smart, but
And-
he's smart at the same time because Reacher's
Yeah,
the same way.
and we was
yeah.
going to say we've seen him do a serious role with Reacher.
Yeah.
Because if before that, I probably wouldn't have said so because he's just from like Blue Mountain State and
Yeah.
stuff. He's a big jokester.
Sure.
But he put on a lot of weight. He got serious, and he's getting a little bit older too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he would be perfect for Vandal Savage. I just think he's so cool, Hopper. Vandal Savage is so sick.
He's very cool, and I do like the idea of like him setting up. You know, maybe we do a
Yes.
2-part movie where it's sort of like aping off Marvel, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like you would have the Thanos movie where he's collecting the stones, and then you would have the next movie be the Justice League go into have to like put up against him. Like they have to figure out a way to go, against whatever he's done.
Well, I was thinking more along the lines of, yes, the Thanos, but he's more like Nick Fury. So at the end of each movie, when the villain's been thrown
interesting.
away, like put in jail or something,
Yeah.
Vandal Savage says, "Well, you didn't do what you were supposed to here. You're supposed to bring out the greatness here, or you were supposed to do this kind of thing."
Yeah.
And then just him basically saying, "You're not part of." Because in Young Justice they're called the Light, so he's like, okay, I'm going to kick you out of the Light because obviously you didn't do it. And we see him throughout these different movies as the one who is orchestrating the villains to fight this hero.
But how does that leave him for like a solo movie if he's got everything? Like if he's kicking everyone out of his group?
Well, he doesn't have to kick all of them. Some of them he'll be like, you don't deserve to be part of my group. And he's like, what group? And another one he's like, I'm putting together a group kind of thing. It doesn't have to be pure Marvel, but I'm just using the same kind of wordage.
Yeah.
But I think doing that would be really cool because you had mentioned it too back when we were talking about the way DC should have done it was backwards to Marvel, where they're taking the ensemble and then breaking them up apart kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think seeing Vandal Savage at the end start pulling together the villains, I think that'd be really cool.
I wish they would have done, because we all know, I mean, at least Batman and Superman, we all know them very well at this point.
Right.
And we know, like, I think we know Wonder Woman, we know Aquaman. Like, they're not too hard to understand as characters.
Right.
You don't need a whole 2-hour movie to understand Aquaman's motivations, that
No.
he's the leader of the seas.
Yeah.
Just do a Justice League movie.
Yeah.
Like, just do it, and like, don't have any side characters. Don't put Perry White in it or whatever the hell. Just do like just do like the Justice League of the main characters, and we're fighting some big threat.
No, yeah, I totally agree.
Vandal Savage would be a good villain for like an ensemble movie, though. He's
Yes.
like that presence.
He
know what I
has
mean?
the
He's got
presence.
that-
He has, and like, it could even be like he's preparing us because he knows like Mongol is coming, or some bigger threat than him. Darkseid.
Yeah.
He's seen these outer beings that he wants to prepare Earth for. The scene where he's controlling War World in Young Justice, and he's just destroying anything that gets in the way of planet Earth is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's given birth to different heroes.
Wasn't he like the whole reason the metahumans are around?
Yeah,
Like,
because he passed on the gene of the metahumans or something like that. So it's just he's, especially in Young Justice, they set him up to be this awesome person. Like before this, I'd never even heard of Vandal Savage. So like
I think he was in Justice League. I remember him from that show too.
yeah, but he wasn't. He didn't have the presence. He didn't have the same presence.
They definitely amped him up more. I think, but in the comics, he's sort of like that. Like he's
Yeah.
always just sort of around.
Yeah, but I think he could be a culmination of a few movies into a Vandal Savage movie, and he'd be like, you won't like if you didn't like me, you won't like what's coming next, and then they pan over to like Darkseid or something. You know what I mean?
Just introduce him in the Etrigan movie too. Be like,
Yes.
here's or you could just have him at the end of that, like collect whoever the villain is in the Etrigan movie for
Yeah.
like the light or what the villain, the Legion of Doom or
Yeah.
whatever the hell we're calling it.
Yeah, I think Vandal Savage would do really well in James Gunn's superhero show movie universe.
I just wonder too, like what the full direction is. Are we going to have phases and like full cumulative movies?
Yeah.
Or is it going to be more so like just separate? Because I don't think we have a Wonder Woman show. Anything mentioned for Wonder Woman yet?
He said that they're connected, they're in the same universe, but they're all their own standalone things, which I like. But at the same time, if you're doing a connected universe, we like when they all come together to do something at the end.
Although that does, I'm sure, because he's been burned from the Marvel stuff because they killed Gamora and his.
Well, he's the one over it now. He is Feige, so
that's what I'm saying.
If he has the Russo brothers, he'd be like, "I don't like that you're doing this. You need to change that."
Well, yes, but at the same time, I don't know if he would just because you want directors to have their own visions,
Right.
So you maybe just don't do a cumulative movie. That way you don't have to mess up stuff. You can just do your trilogies and stuff and just have them all kind of have characters being different stuff, but like don't
come in and help here or there kind of thing.
Sure, and don't
but
don't make any big
we want a Justice
changes.
League movie, dude. You know we want that.
It'll probably happen eventually, but the thing is, like, I don't know if it'll be 10 years down the line. It'll be 3 years down the line. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
And he's not doing like Marvel was, where it's like every movie culminates to the next thing. It's like Justice League, like it's Batman, then it's Wonder Woman, then it's like how Zack Snyder's stuff was going.
Yeah,
it's more so like the Authority or Swamp Thing. It's like these different kind of unconnected.
Yeah,
I like these properties. Let's make movies out of them. Kind
Absolutely,
of thing.
And I think that's what the DC needed, and it's what Marvel's needing right now is this breath of fresh air kind of thing, kind of shake up the hierarchy of power within these universes, if you will.
I just hope it's good. I hope they're all good. I hope it makes us proud. I don't want to be hyping this universe up and it just turns into nothing.
I'm so tired of being disappointed by superhero movies. Me coming from a huge superhero fanboy kind of thing, I want to see it for the rest of my life in theaters. I know some people don't have that idea. I'm just saying, if you make good movies, they won't care that they're superhero movies. They just care that they're good movies. You know what I mean? So that's my hope, and I think James Gunn can deliver that.
I think this new Superman will be the test.
Yes,
because Peacemaker and Commandos,
they're
Howling
great,
Commandos will be fine. But what is it? Creature Commandos.
Creature Commandos.
The Howling Commandos.
We've
are
already
Marvel
seen
thing.
like the Penguin has done well.
Yeah.
We know Matt Reeves is on to do kind of like a mini universe in this thing.
The Batman epic crime saga.
Yeah,
is what it's called.
And I'm just like, you know what? Cook a little bit. Let's see what you do.
I thought that name was so stupid, but then like once the Penguin was good, I was like, you got it.
You know what?
It is a crime saga. You got it. Yeah.
So yeah.
So that's our picks for the top 10 characters James Gunn should put in the DC universe. I know that it's not just James Gunn's decision. Obviously, it's Peter Safran, and they've got the whole thing. But it seems like he's sort of the one leading the charge right now, and he's the director that we know. He's making the Superman movie, so we're kind of putting him in the title.
Yeah, absolutely.
But just let us know in the comments who you think should be in the new universe, or if you think we made some dumb decisions. Let us know how much you love Detective Chimp in the comments, and we will reach back out to you with how much we love Detective Chimp as well. This is now a Detective Chimp fan
is.
page.
I've been hijacked. I thought this was a different video we were making.
Nope, Detective Chimp is for the win.